There's been a lot going on in this world with the economy the way it is. The stock market is doing what it's doing. There's a lot of uncertainty in our economy, in the job market. There's every time we turn on the news, turn on social media, log on, scroll through, we get updates, a lot of updates on more bad news that is happening, not just in our country, but in every country. There's some people that are working in industries right now that are already being affected. Some communities are already being impacted by the new policies, the new realities of our economy. People from all over the world are preparing themselves for uncertain times, and it's in these moments where I remember what is most important to do. Um, we don't want to wait until something not pleasant or negative happens to us to prepare to survive. So it's that fact that we don't want to wait until something bad happens to prepare for something bad to happen. Um, it's that fact that causes me to come to you and talk about how we can make friends. Whatever bad things happen in the world, whatever bad things happen at our jobs, in our industries, in our communities, in our country, whatever bad thing that is going to happen to our family, to our friends, to our future, regardless of whatever the bad thing is, it's going to be better, and we are going to be able to survive if we have the right friends. If we have people around us that we can trust, that believe in us, that are willing to work with us, willing to sacrifice for us, willing to defend us, everything in our life is going to be better when we make good friends and we keep them. This is a part of a series that I'm very passionate about. Um, Today, we're going to be talking about the next step of making friends and keeping them. And the next step to making friends and keeping them is to pursue our interests, pursue your interests. We've already talked about how important it is to get to know who we are and identify that primary personality characteristic that doesn't change regardless of the situation. And once we have a firm understanding of what that is, we have a good foundation of our identity. We know where to begin building when we begin meeting other people and we start building relationships with other people. And that takes us, like I said, into the next step, which is begin pursuing our interests, pursue your interests. Now, when I think about pursuing interests, I think about my journey and the difficulties that I've had. I served in the military. I was in the Air Force, was an aircraft mechanic, went to the Air Force Academy, became an officer, and served as a space officer, cyber operations planner. I had a pretty good career in the military. And in the military, we are essentially given an identity, we're given a culture. And if you're a top performer, you hang out with other top performers, and there's like a whole culture involved with excelling in the military. But when I got out of the military and I became a consultant, I moved back to my hometown and here in California. I really didn't have anyone telling me what to do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I wasn't being voluntold to do things or to have like mandatory fun days. There was nothing really propelling me to get out of my comfort zone and to pick up hobbies or to pursue my own interests. Just in my journey, the interests that I pursued were always the interests that I was told to pursue. I come from a big family, 5 brothers, 2 sisters. I'm a middle child, and I think there was something just in my personality that was really built in that made me want to conform to the authorities around me. Like my household was very disciplinarian. We had to obey, yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. And when I joined the military, it was a very similar situation. You may also find yourself in a similar situation where you have become an adult. You had a wonderful childhood, but you became an adult without really pursuing your interests. And like me, you may find yourself in a situation where you have not really explored the world in its entirety. You haven't really like taken the cover off and just said, you know what, I'm just going to do what comes to my mind. A lot of the interests and the hobbies and the pastimes that we have were all given to us by people who were our parents or people in our family or our friend group in school or our friend group when we started our first job. And just based on our community norms, we've selected our pastimes. Oh, we all like to go barbecue. We're all going to go barbecue. We all like to race cars. We all go race cars. And you kind of grow up in that community, in that culture where you do whatever everyone else around you was doing. I was in a similar situation in the military where I just did what other military guys were doing. I went out, enjoyed going to restaurants, watched movies, like playing games. I just had normal hobbies. I like to go hiking, like to go running, like to go work out. Those were my hobbies in the military. But in a way that was good, right? In a way that it all served its purpose because in the military, I was able to connect with people when I was doing those hobbies, like whether I was playing video games or working out or going hiking. I would meet other people who were interested in working out and hiking and so on and so forth. And we would be able to connect and build relationships. And those relationships were a little bit stronger than the relationships that I had with people that I just simply worked with. Sometimes I would work with the same people that I would have my pastimes with, which really supercharged that relationship. And we built really strong bonds like that. And those bonds are probably the best bonds that I've had to this day. But there's a lot of things that looking back on my military experience and looking back on those relationships that I learned from that I took into the relationships that I started building out when I got out of the military. So when I got out, I moved down to California, like I said, and I was essentially faced with a community and with a social life that is very similar to what people experience all over this country, from small towns to big cities. It's kind of the wild, wild west out there. When you think about socializing and trying to build relationships, especially since I was like building relationships with people when I was in my 30s, it's difficult to date. It's difficult to make and keep good friends. It's difficult to meet people because if I'm not at work, I'm at home. And if I'm not at home, I'm getting ready for work. And if I'm not getting ready for work, I'm at the gym. And there just seems like there's no time to actually spend cultivating relationships that are true friendships. It's easy to cultivate a relationship with like a recruiter when you're looking for a job, and it's easy to cultivate a relationship with somebody at your job who's a manager when you're trying to get promoted. It's easy to cultivate those relationships that have to do with the money that you're earning, but I'm not sure if those are true friendships unless they develop beyond your career. And what we're going to be talking about today with respect to making and keeping friends and pursuing our interests, this is about building stronger relationships and stronger friendships that go beyond just the people that you work with. I know that there are some people out there who'll say, you know what, I don't want to get to know the people that I work with outside of work. And there are some people who say, you know, I don't want to work with the people that are my friends. Like those are two different groups of people. One day, I hope that you reconsider because your business life, your professional life, and your personal life will be much better when the quality of the person that you're working with is at such a quality where you're friends with them outside of work. It helps your work go smoother. It helps the business opportunities come faster. It helps you be able to close on bigger and bigger deals and get bigger and bigger opportunities when you are working with the people that are truly your friends. And it helps your personal life and your mental health when you are friends with the people, true friends with the people who you're working with. Not only does it help your mental health and your personal life, but then also your professional life gets supercharged as well. And I truly believe that the people who make the most progress in the shortest amount of time in this life, in America, in the Western world, probably all over the world, to be honest with you, are the people who have high quality friends in their life And those high quality friends are also the types of people that they do business with. And that's what we're going toward now. That's the destination. We want to find and cultivate, nurture, and keep good friends. And with those good friendships, we'll also be successful in our professional life, our personal life, our spiritual life, everything in between. So that's what I was doing when I got out of the military. I was I was trying to find relationships that would be those true friendships, similar to what I had experienced in the military, where the camaraderie was off the hook, where we were jobbing, we were living together. There are some things that I know about the people that I serve with that we only discuss just us, right? Their closest family members and their closest friends don't know about the things that I've told them about and that they've told me about. There's strong bonds there, and those are the exact types of relationships that bring me the most satisfaction and the most fulfillment. And I truly believe that when you experience that, which is why I'm talking to you, when you experience that type of close friendship, that type of close relationship, you'll also get immense satisfaction, immense joy and fulfillment from those types of relationships. So that's essentially what I was doing. And unfortunately, in Southern California, in Los Angeles County, going out to the bars and to the clubs and trying to hang out with people that I work with, I was a technology consultant. They never matriculated. I met some people at work that I could be friends with, but to be honest, at Thursday and Friday, when we were all off the road and back with our families, we really didn't hang out that much after work when we all went home. Same thing that is happening with people who are going to school. A lot of times you're friends at school, you're taking the same classes, but then once you are not in the same class or you're not in the same dorm or whatever it is, you stop hanging out. You're like, well, were we really friends? Do we have something special, or was it just based on some sort of association? Those are associates that we just get along with. And that's what I found. I had a lot of associates, a lot of associations, but I didn't have those high quality, like those true friends. No offense to anyone who knew me before. I'm not trying to throw any shade, but I'm just saying there's another level, there's a deeper level of relationship that we can have as friends. I think guys and girls can be friends. I don't believe at all that just because you're of a different gender, you cannot be friends with another person who is of a different gender. I just don't believe that. I believe high quality friendships can cross or can carry over across genders. I believe high quality friendships can carry over across earning potential. There are some people who are extremely wealthy and some people who don't have much. And I believe that the person who is extremely wealthy and the person that doesn't have much can be great friends, amazing friends. And it all depends on the character of the person. And obviously we know that just because you have good character doesn't mean you're a wealthy person. And just because you're a wealthy person does not mean you have good character. So people who don't have good character who are very wealthy, and the people who don't have good character who don't have much, they can also be friends. Just like the other way around. So that's what I was doing. I was in Southern California, and I was having trouble meeting and nurturing and keeping friends. And eventually I learned that something had to change. I had to take a different course of action because what I was doing, the advice that I was following, the people that I was hanging around with, the people that I was looking up to, it was no longer working for me. I was looking for friends. I was looking for relationships. I was looking for true connections, and they weren't matriculating. I was going to work. I was hanging out with family. I was trying to hang out with friends, and it just wasn't working. It was like the harder I tried to make friends, or the more I tried to make friends with people and build real relationships with people, the more it seems like they would fall through my fingers. Like the people that I encountered, I won't say no one, but the people that I encountered, it didn't seem like they had that element in their soul or in their heart that they were looking for a real connection, like real vulnerability, real communication, real honesty, real integrity, real accountability, real support, real generosity. It didn't seem like they were seeking that. I was, but it didn't seem like they were. And I didn't want to come off as too forward. And so I really played my cards close to my chest. Obviously, I'm speaking to you right now, and I'm not playing my cards close to my chest anymore. I'm at this stage in my life where I'm putting this out there. If you think like me, if you believe like me, connect with me. Um, I'm looking to make friends, and I'm creating safe spaces all over social media, all over the world, where good people can come together and make friends. Which takes me to that new course of action that I decided to pursue. And that new course of action was to begin pursuing my interests. Um, I had quite a bit of anxiety about pursuing interests. The first thing that you may find, and because I found it, was it is difficult to do different things the older that you get. It's extremely difficult. There's like a little voice that was in my head saying, "Don't do it. That's dangerous. Don't do it. That's different." And anything that I can think of to do, it just it didn't seem appealing. And if I could think about something that I could do, I always told myself, you know what, you don't have the money for that, or wait, and it's not in the budget. Or I would tell myself, I don't know anyone who's doing it. I'd be brand new. I'd be made fun of. I'd be mocked. I'd be teased. I just can't handle that right now. And eventually, I got to the point where I had to look myself in the mirror and say, all right, what you've been trying has not been working. It is time for you to do something different. If what you're doing is not working, then do something different. And by something different, that meant trying to get a new hobby. But I didn't know what hobby to get. So I went to the internet and I searched and I looked for hobbies for men. And I want you to do this exercise as well. Search the internet, your favorite search engine, and look for hobbies for, and then enter your gender or enter an attribute about yourself that means something to you. So I searched hobbies, and my hobby that I found was, okay, I could go running, I can do working out. There was like a lot of hobbies listed for hobbies for men. One of those hobbies was motorcycles, like riding motorcycles. And I looked through the hobbies, and I looked through and looked through and looked through, and eventually I settled on motorcycles. And the reason why I settled on motorcycles was it was something that was dangerous. I knew it was going to push me to the limit. It was something that everyone in my life that said they cared about me, everyone in my life that said, I'm doing a great job, everyone in my life that said they loved me, everyone in my life that said, you're amazing, just keep doing what you're doing. I knew what I was doing was not working. But everyone in my life that said they were supporting me, they were like, don't ride motorcycles. It's dangerous. You can get hurt. Anything bad can happen. And of course, I'm taking a new course of action. So I'm like, all right, I can no longer listen to the people that I've been listening to, because what I've been doing based on their advice has not been working to bring healthy relationships into my life. So that's essentially what I did. I was like, fine, I'm going to ride motorcycles. I'm not going to tell them about it because they've already expressed their opinion, but I'm going to try. Okay, I didn't have a lot of money at the time. I didn't know how to ride motorcycles. I didn't know what it was going to take, but I knew, okay, this is going to be my hobby. So whatever your situation is, search for hobbies, search for pastimes, whatever you want to call it, but look up those hobbies, and I want you to comment or share what hobby you are going to decide to pursue. That's an important step to pursuing your interest. You have to find some interest that you are willing to pursue. And essentially that's what I did. I didn't have the money for it. I didn't know how to do it. It was a brand new blue sky situation. And so what I started doing was I started searching on social media. I was like, fine, I don't have any money for this. I don't know how much money it's going to cost. I hear it's expensive. I know it's going to be dangerous. I'm going to need some training to manage the risk, but I'm going to pursue this hobby. Like, good or bad, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to meet people while I do it. And that's exactly what I did. I started looking on social media, on various social media platforms, And I started following people who were already riding motorcycles and people who were starting out. And I started learning more about the culture and learning about the different types of motorcycles and bikes. And I started learning about all the gear. And I just started learn. I threw myself into it as a student, and I just tried to learn as much as possible. And I followed people. I promoted people. I really tried to connect with people who were in the community because I wanted to. The more I it started out as a job, but the more I learned about it, it became something of pleasure, something that I really enjoyed doing. It was like my safe space. One of the reasons why it was so safe was because it was brand new. So I felt like even as a grown man, I was growing. I was like learning new things. I was like, wow, I didn't know that. And that made me feel, it took me back to the time when I was a child and I was learning how to ride a bicycle or a bike for the first time. And I remember that feeling of awe when you are learning how to ride a bike for the first time and you actually go a considerable amount of distance and you don't fall off. And the whole world just opens up to you like, wow, I can go anywhere in my neighborhood, or I can go to the store. I can carry anything I want. It just opens up the world for you. And that's what I was feeling about learning a new hobby. So I encourage you, once you find your new hobby, once you find your new pastime that you're going to pursue, because we're all going to be making friends, I want you to start learning about it. Follow whoever is in that community on social media, obviously trustworthy creators and influencers, but start learning about it. Become a student of your hobby. That's exactly what I did. Eventually, I learned enough about it where I signed up for courses because I wanted to learn how to ride motorcycles effectively without hurting myself. The last thing I wanted to do was do something that people in my life told me that I shouldn't do because it's dangerous. And then it is dangerous and I hurt myself. And so I signed up for a motorcycle safety course. I started buying gear. I wanted to be as protected as possible in case I go down. And I started learning how to ride motorcycles. And you know what? The people that I met in the motorcycle class were amazing. The instructors were very kind. They were very welcoming. Everyone was learning the same thing that I was learning. So I felt like I belonged. And then each time I got a motorcycle, I ride a sport bike, but each time I jump on my sport bike and I go to the gas station, go to the grocery store, ride up and down the canyons in Southern California, or go around the beach. Each time I get on it, I meet someone. Either I wave at someone and we say hi and we start speaking. It's a whole community. It's not just people who ride. It opened me up to casual relationships and to start building relationships with people who maybe they don't ride, but they know somebody who rides. Or maybe they don't ride and they don't know somebody who rides, but they've always wanted to ride. So essentially by pursuing a hobby, becoming a student of it, really appreciating that new pastime, my new interest, riding motorcycles, I started creating healthy relationships around the joy of doing that pastime, around that passion. And those relationships to this day, I always go, it's like a thirsty man will drink water. Each time I get thirsty and I need to drink that water, I can jump on that motorcycle and jumping on the motorcycle and riding around and feeling the thrust and feeling the feel of the motorcycle as it goes through traffic and as it accelerates off the red lights and goes and the light turns green and I take off and I go. Each time that I do that, it really warms my soul. It really like it does something to my self-esteem. It does something to my confidence. It does something to my mental health and to my spiritual health. It just does something to my soul, my creativity. It does something to me that gives me energy. That it's the same energy that I need in order to go on throughout the day and throughout the week. If I ride the motorcycle one time, I ride it more than once. But if I do that pastime, if I do that interest one time, and I meet someone or I speak to someone about it, or I just share that joy of motorcycles one time a day, that is all I need sometimes if I'm having a bad day. I share that to say, when you are pursuing your interests, like we're going to be making friends, and we're going to make friends that have close relationships, people that are going to not just take from your life, but also give and be generous to you. It's very important to pursue your interests, be a student of it, and really throw yourself into that new pastime or that new hobby, regardless of whether it's going to cost you a whole bunch of money or if it's going to take a lot of your time. Where there is a will, there is a way. I started out just connecting and pursuing my interests on social media, and that was free. And eventually I started watching things about instruction and what to do and what gear to wear. And eventually I saved up enough and I was able to go to the class. And then after the class, I got a motorcycle. And then after that, I started getting a whole bunch of gear, and I've been off to the races. One thing that has surprised me through that process of pursuing my interests and was finding passion. And it kind of snuck up on me. And because it snuck up on me, I have a good feeling that it is going to sneak up on you too. When you first find your interest that you're going to pursue, maybe you're interested in it for some reason, and it's just like, I'm not sure if I'm going to like it or not. I see other people doing it. I look up to them and they seem like they're pretty cool. So I'm going to just go ahead and try it. Or wouldn't it be nice if I do X, Y, and Z? That's how I was about motorcycles. And when you pick your hobby, when you pick your interest, that's probably how it's going to feel. Like, you're not going to feel a strong connection to it. But believe me, if you pursue it and you learn about it like you're a student, like if you take yourself back to the time when you're 5, 6, 7 years old and you're learning a new toy or you're learning a new thing, and you study it and you throw yourself into it and let the world just fall by the wayside, and you just focus on that part of your passion, that part of your personality that is interested in a particular activity. The more you learn about it, you got to protect it, right? There's going to be people who are going to try to discourage you from doing it, from finding your passion. But the more you learn about it, the more that knowledge that you gain begins to become part of your personality. So the more you learn about that new activity, the more that knowledge in your head becomes part of your new personality. And because there's no negativity around, because you have shut out all the cynics and all the noise, and you're spending time each day, each week, learning that new pastime or learning that new interest, you become there's like a passion that begins to build inside you, where you begin to look forward to that quiet time where you're learning about that new interest. And as you embrace that quiet time, and don't share it with everybody, because some people will see something growing in your life, and because they are insecure, they'll try to make sure that whatever is growing in your life, whatever passion is coming alive in you, they try to make sure that passion doesn't grow. And they can say they love you, yada, 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 but there are some people who feel so insecure about themselves that they are not able to be around people who have passion and who have love and who have joy and who have fulfillment and contentment in their life. There are some people out there who, unfortunately, that's how they are. And if you're like me, you may have people in your life who are your family, who you call friends, maybe your coworkers, your classmates, people who live in your community. And when they see that joy coming alive and you begin watering it, and you're pursuing your interest, and you became a student of it, and you begin to find like true, genuine love and joy for whatever that new interest is, they'll try to do whatever they can to keep you from it, because they don't have that in their life. They don't have that well of water where they can go drink whenever they're thirsty. And you do. When you're pursuing your interest and you become a student of it and becomes part of your personality that you embrace and that you enjoy, the more you learn about it, whatever the new interest is, people in the community who are doing that same thing, they don't hate on you. They actually embrace you. They actually will see the progress that you're making, and they will encourage you. They will be your biggest fans when they see you making progress, or when they see you actually learning and being genuine about it, and they see like, hey, this person is not a poser. I didn't come in and start riding motorcycles and say, you know what, I'm just going to go out there. I'm going to hit the track. I'm going to be the fastest one, yada, yada. No, I wanted to be safe. I wanted to have a good time. I wanted to get back home. I wanted to be respectful. The whole point of pursuing that interest was to make good friends and to find joy in my life. And that's exactly what I did. And that's something that you're going to be able to do too. So don't worry about the naysayers. Don't worry about the cynics. Stay away from them. Find time to do your hobby, to do your interest, to pursue your passion when the people who are your cynics are not around. And just excuse yourself. Sometimes you may live with them. You may work with them. You may go to class with them. Let them know, hey, I got to have some time on my own. And use the time that you have on your own. Maybe you have children. Maybe you have a spouse, whatever it is, right? Use the time that you have on your own. Maybe it's going to be really early in the morning, like at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 to 5, when no one's up. Maybe it's really late at night, like 11 or 12 o'clock at night. But find time, prioritize it. Don't let a day go by without you pursuing your interests. That is a major step in being able to make friends. And for me, it worked out great. When I started pursuing motorcycles, I was brand new, novice, whatever. There were some people in the motorcycle community that kind of like shaded me. They're like, oh, this guy's new. Let's not ride with him or whatever, right? But 80 to 90% of the people that I met, they were very supportive. And they made me look forward to the next ride. There were some people that are some hooligans out there. Don't get me wrong. You kind of like, you can learn where you fit in the world. And when you become a biker, you kind of like learn who's who in the industry and who's who in the hobby. And you learn what type of people to interact with and that you most enjoy hanging around with. But that comes with time. Whatever your interest is, pursue it. Do it on a daily basis. Do it every day if you can. Do it multiple times a week. Definitely do it more than 4 or 5 times a month. Make it so important. It's like sleeping, or it's like waking up. If you sleep and you wake up, guess what? You're doing your hobby. You're following your passion. That is how important it is. And I'm going to explain why. I'm going to break this down a little bit. When you pursue your passion, when you pursue your interests and you become a student of it, and it shows that you are improving over time, not only do you feel that sense of accomplishment, but you begin to grow confidence. And it is that level of confidence in doing an activity and getting better over time that allows you to overcome the anxiety and the fear that is involved with meeting new people. And as you get better and better and better, you know, hey, if someone says something that I did wrong, or someone is trying to correct me or trying to give me unsolicited advice, instead of being defensive about it, now I can take it for what it is. It's advice. I'm not there today, but if I take the advice and it's good, I can improve my skills, or I can improve what I'm doing. I can take my hobby or my passion to the next level. And that ability to take something to the next level shows progress. And people who are passionate about whatever they're passionate about, they are on the lookout everywhere they go for people who are making progress. And you may say, well, why? Why do good people who have good character, why are we so focused on finding people who are making progress toward their interests and toward their passions? It's because when you make progress is not able to be made by someone who is self-centered. It is not able to be made by someone who is arrogant. It's not something that is able to be made when you're talking about progress towards something that you're passionate about and something that you find joy in, like one of your big passions. You have to have a certain amount of reflection and self-awareness. And it takes a certain amount of humility. If you don't have a certain amount of humility, a certain amount of self-awareness, a certain amount of, okay, I didn't do good enough today, but I can do better tomorrow, then you'll never have whatever that character trait is that allows you to learn from your mistakes and then get better and continue making progress. So if you're a good person, like I like to think I'm a good person, I shouldn't say I like to think because I truly am. I got to own that now. But if you're a good person and you're making progress toward whatever your new passion is, right? You're going to look for other people who are also learning that new passion or have a similar experience. And you're going to look for people who are also working on themselves and making progress, because you know that if someone is making progress, it doesn't matter if they're some sort of maestro or some sort of expert at whatever it is you're trying to do. When you see them making progress, you know that there's a character trait that they have, that they value, and that you have, and that you value. And now the person who can essentially play in an orchestra can now connect with someone who is just learning how to play the saxophone, because what they're doing, the work that they're doing on their craft, the way they go about pursuing their passion, it's out of humility. It's out of building confidence. It's about exercising and getting better each and every single day. I believe that's why so many people who are amazing at whatever their passions are, and they have reached a high level of skill, the really good people, you'll find them in the schools. You'll find them at the colleges. You'll find them in the universities. You'll find them trying to pursue things as they get older. You'll find them trying to pass their wisdom down to the next generation. And you'll find them trying to share their tools of the trade and their best practices with people who also have similar characteristics as they have. And it brings them so much joy. When you have something that is you have done for X amount of years, and you grew this passion, you reached a certain level, it gives that person so much joy to begin showing other people who are also on that same journey, hey, this is how you can move a little bit faster. This is how you can learn from my mistakes. I want you to get to the best level that you can be. I want you to meet everyone that I know. That's how mentorships are formed. So I can't stress that enough. The exercise that we're going to do to continue the progress and continue learning how to make friends, we're going to begin identifying our interests, and then we're going to become students of it. If we don't have any money to pursue it, we don't have any time to go after it, connect with whatever that interest is on social media. Comment and share whatever that interest is so that we can hold each other accountable and we can promote each other and learn about each other. And then once you become a student of it, begin making progress every single day. It can be in the morning, it can be at night, and only share that interest with people who you know 100% are on your side and who are going to promote whatever it is that you're trying to do. You want people in your life that want the best for you. They want you to succeed even if they don't succeed, because they know that if you succeed, we all succeed. If you are happy, then we're all happy. If you find joy, then we all find joy. Those are the types of relationships that we're building. Those are the types of friendships, personal and professional, that we're building. We're gonna support each other. We're gonna be generous with each other. We're gonna work with each other. We're gonna make sure that the time that we spend here on this earth is filled with joy, is filled with security, is filled with safety, it's filled with understanding. There's a lot of places out there that are inviting us in and want us to work from. There's a lot of companies that we can work for. There's a lot of organizations that we can spend our time with. But what I'm doing here is something that I find is 100% needed in our community and in society as a whole. Good people like me and you need a place to come, to meet people, to learn how to be friends, to learn how to nurture good friendships, to build those lifelong bonds with people. I've seen so much on the wonderful world of TikTok and just all over social media about people saying, hey, I'm X amount of age and I don't have any friends. Or I've learned that the best thing in life is to not have any friends. Well, I disagree. I believe that if we work together, if we learn about each other, if we create safe spaces like this, then not only will we learn how to make friends, but we'll actually make lifelong friends. And they could be lifelong because we're all here to support each other. And none of us, I don't believe in any of us should expect generosity from someone who we're not willing to sacrifice for. It's a two-way street. And it's a two-way street that should flow very, very freely. So that's the exercise today. Find your passion, begin pursuing it, follow on social media, comment and share whatever that passion is. Put it in the comments so that we can keep tabs on each other, make sure that we can support each other and pass along those positive vibes. We want to generate very healthy energy here. And like I said, mine is motorcycles. I love it. If you're into motorcycles, great. Hit me up. We can chat about it. I also enjoy other topics, but I just wanted to share motorcycles with you. It's a passion. When I'm on my motorcycle and I put that helmet on, put on the music, and I am just smiling from ear to ear. I'm like, I was like goofy smiling, goofy laughing. That's what it's like. It feels like I'm a kid again. And I would do anything. Like if I couldn't ride a motorcycle, I would have to find another passion to pursue. But the people that I meet when I'm riding motorcycles or I'm talking about motorcycles, those people that I meet, because it's my passion and because I decided to pursue it and I became a student of it and I truly love it, it's part of my personality, it's part of who I am, part of my identity now, because I spent so much time doing it. And it'll happen to you. Whatever you decide, it's going to become part of your identity. It's going to be part of your personality. It's going to be the part of your personality that you really enjoy, that you fall in love with. When other people interact with you, they may not even be into the activity. They may not even share your same interests, but they can pick up on the passion. They can pick up on the fact that you found joy in your life. You found that energy that allows you to be a kid again, that allows you to fill your mind with your imagination and your creativity and your love for every single thing. It allows you to tap into that part of you that allows you to be generous and allows you to be grateful when things are not necessarily going your way at work or at home or wherever. People will see that energy and they will be attracted to it. I'm telling you from straight up. I've met people who don't even like motorcycles, but then when they see me riding or they see me after I finish a ride and they see the look of joy that I have on my face and they see my energy, they just want to be a part of it. They're like, hey, I want to learn how to ride too. And I'm like, sure. Hey, this is my process. And this is the things that I did. Let me know. And I'm encouraging of anyone who decides to pursue their passion or pursue a passion, and put themselves out there to learn. And you'll find that too. If maybe you've already selected a passion that you're pursuing, but you haven't been consistent with it, I encourage you. I would beg you, but I encourage you to be consistent with it. Spend time doing it every single day, just like it's breathing, just like you're breathing, or just like you're waking up in the morning. If you go to sleep at night or whenever you go to sleep and you wake up, make sure that you have a plan to do whatever that interest is. Pursue it. As you pursue it, that passion inside you is going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And eventually that spark of interest is going to turn into a fire of passion. And then other people are going to feel that warmth, feel that heat. They're going to see your energy and they're going to be like, wow, I want that. I want to interact with that person. I know some people will say, the job market is crazy. Recruiters will see that, hiring managers will see that passion is like, hey, I want that person on my team. I can't really describe it. I don't know if they're the right fit for the role based on their resume, but I know that they have the right mentality. I know that if that person is on my team is going to overperform. Finding your passion and pursuing your interests is not just something that you do for your personal life and to make sure that you're a good spouse and make sure that you're a good mother or father and make sure that you're a good community member. Pursuing your passion, it also helps you in the professional life. And there are some people out there who say, you know what, I don't have anyone to date. I'm having problems in my personal life. I want to make friends for personal reasons. Okay, pursue your passion. Throw yourself into it. Keep feeding that spark until it turns into a fire. And then let that fire continue to grow until every single person in your life can feel it. And people that you don't know can feel it. And as you do it, keep building it, keep building it, keep building it. We're going to keep supporting each other here. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And eventually you will start meeting people who are either doing your same passion, doing your same interest, pursuing the same thing that you're pursuing in the exact same way. Or you're going to meet people like myself who may not share your exact same interests, but we have the same energy. We have the same humility. We have the same desire to become better people every single day. We have the same accountability. It's that accountability that allows us to make progress on something that is brand new, that makes us feel awkward, that makes us feel anxious, that makes us feel fearful. It's that humility that allows us to face our fears, face our uncertainty, and continue to put ourselves out there to grow. We know whenever you put yourself out there, it's very uncomfortable. And we're going to be surrounding ourselves with people, and we're going to meet people and connect with people who know what it is like to feel uncomfortable. I believe it's important to know what it is like to feel uncomfortable. You want friends that know what it is like to be uncomfortable, because a friend that knows what it's like to be uncomfortable, they know exactly what to say, what to do, where to be in order to help you alleviate that uncomfortability and those fears and that anxiety. But if you are hanging out with people who are not trying to grow, they're not pursuing their interests, they're not trying to get better every single day, whatever it is, right? If you're hanging out with people like that and they don't appreciate the growth process, they don't appreciate failing and then learning how to be better and to succeed. If they don't appreciate that cycle of life of growing and learning and improving and developing, then when you try to grow, and when we're trying to find joy and make friends, we're trying to grow. Those people who are not growing in their life and they have signed off, they are done. They are not trying to grow. They're not trying to develop. They think everything that they have is okay and they don't want anything more in life. Those people are done because they don't even understand what it is like to grow. They have forgotten what it's like to grow. And as you try to grow, you're trying to grow joy in your life. You're trying to grow generosity and love and community, and you're trying to make friends and you're trying to grow things in your life. If you're hanging around people that have sworn off growing, and they're arrogant and they're mean spirited and they're cynical and yada, yada, yada. If you meet people like that, please stay away from them. Protect your peace, protect your joy, protect your passion. Because if you protect it and you continue growing it, then it's all going to work out and you're going to make the friends that you've always wanted to make. You'll have the social life that you've always wanted to have. You'll be more successful in your personal life with meeting people that you want to spend your life with. By keeping people that you want to spend your life with, you'll be more successful in your professional life, because not only will you work with the people that are your friends, but you'll be friends with the people that you work with. So you'll be working in healthy work environments. Your productivity will be off the charts. Your creativity will be off the charts. You'll finally enjoy the time that you are spending at work. It won't be an 8, 9, 10, 12-hour day. No. It's going to be an 8, 9, 10, 12-hour engagement where you get to hang out with your best friends, be productive, get things done that improve society, and you'll begin seeing the deeper meaning behind the work that you're doing. Everything in our life, everything that we want, everything that we dream about, everything that we love, and everything that we want to have in our life is on the other side of us learning how to make friends, learning how to nurture those relationships. And today, it's about learning how to pursue our interests and be successful at it. I look forward to continuing this series and working with you and getting to know you. Like I said, share and comment what your interest is going to be. Maybe you've already selected it. But if you haven't selected it, I challenge you to, I shouldn't say challenge. I ask that you find whatever that interest is by the end of the week and comment or share whatever your new interest is. It's important for us to demonstrate not just to ourselves, but to the world. Hey, we're going after our interests. We have a spark of interest, and we're going to feed it. We're going to feed it until it becomes a passion. And we're going to feed that passion until the joy in our hearts overflows. And then with all of that joy, we're going to begin building healthy relationships on top of our one personality, our primary personality trait that doesn't change. On top of building and pursuing our interests, we're going to start creating healthy friendships, and we're going to keep them. All right. I look forward to chatting with you all again soon. I want you to have a wonderful day, whatever time it is. I want you to have a wonderful morning, afternoon, and evening. And I look forward to chatting with you all again soon. Thank you.